This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, Linda Sarsour's brother and Jew hate. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably won't know about this if you only watch MSNBC and CNN, but Linda Sarsour's brother, Dia Sarsour, it now turns out that a few years ago he was making some really grotesque anti-Semitic and Jew-hating tweets on Twitter. Daniel Greenfield has written about this at The Point. Look it up there. Do a Google search, Dia Sarsour, anti-Semitic tweets. Look up Daniel Greenfield at The Point. You can read all about it. He's always on top of these stories. Now, this was uncovered by journalist John Paul Pagano on Twitter. And so, what was Dia Sarsour doing on Twitter? Well, a few years back, he's writing tweets about how Jews run Fox News, about pro-Romney red Jews, about how Jews had killed some Hostess Cakes company because there were no kosher snacks, etc., etc., etc. Now, his account apparently has now been deactivated for whatever reason. But this has happened. This is out now. Now, the left is silent about this. Linda Sarsour's brother, anti-Semitic tweets, Jew-hating tweets. Here's the question. Is Linda Sarsour responsible for her brother? Why isn't the left saying anything? Well, they're not saying anything because they would say, oh, well, that's her brother. That's not Linda Sarsour. And by the way, as if Linda Sarsour didn't say worse things. But just for now, her brother's saying these things. The left is quiet. They're not covering this. But here's the question. Daniel Greenfield brings this up. When Huffington Post doxed Amy Meck recently, they went after her husband, who lost his job because of this. They went after her family members, Meck's siblings. Now, even if the Huffington Post story on several realms maybe did not do this, the left did it afterwards. And the family members, the husband, the siblings, everyone around Amy Meck faced bullying and harassment and threats because of this doxing. So, for the left, if you commit thought crimes, your relatives are responsible. So now I'm asking for the left, isn't Sarsour responsible for her brother's ugly comments about Jewish people and all the anti-Semitism and Jew hate that he's engaged in? It's very interesting, the double standards that are going on here. But we know that the left is silent because we know what side they're on. But I just want to crystallize a phenomena here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, because when it comes to conservatives who might work for Trump or who might like Trump, they face persecution in our society now. Because in terms of the left, what we see is Stalinism, Maoism, what's happening in North Korea. It is here now in terms of what the left does. Because if you're related to a person that commits thought crimes in the left's perspective, you can't get into restaurants, you're going to be screamed at on the street, people are going to show up at your apartment building and harass you and threaten you. So we see what's happening here. And yet, the left does not have the same standard when its own people commit all these ideological, very ugly actions and statements or engage in them. And so we understand what's really happening here because the left is never holding others up to account. It doesn't hold itself up to account. It doesn't hold the people up to account that are part of the totalitarian ideological adversary movement or totalitarian regime that they aid and abet. So in other words, Hillary Clinton was never asked, for instance, to account for Huma Abedin. Hillary was not asked about this woman that worked at her right-hand side. Huma Abedin worked for a Muslim Brotherhood organization, Muslim Brotherhood connections. She had a Muslim Brotherhood family. Why wasn't Hillary asked to account for Huma Abedin and her views and her background? Why wasn't Huma Abedin ever asked by even one reporter during any press conference? I never remember anything like this. Why wasn't she asked about her mother's views? Her mother is Muslim Brotherhood. Her mother, for instance, edited a book that was extremely pro-Sharia. Her mother is against any kind of reform against Sharia law. that, for instance, would stop female genital mutilation and honor killings and child marriage and killing of apostates, etc., etc. Her mother has extremely frightening views when it comes to Sharia and all the savagery that occurs under Sharia to all people, especially women. And her mother is pro-Sharia, edited a pro-Sharia book, and Huma was not asked to account about her mother's views. Now, why is that? Well, it's the same reason why now Linda Sarsour will not be asked to account for her brother's tweets. And we know why. We know why that these Islamic supremacists who are part of Sharia law, and we know that how much women and girls suffer under Sharia law. And we know what's going on because these feminists, these leftist feminists today, like Kathy Griffin, Chelsea Handler, Madonna, Whoopi Goldberg, Rosie O'Donnell, Joy Behar, Amy Schumer, Ashley Judd, etc., they don't say a word on behalf of the women that are suffering under Islamic law today, that are suffering in Iran today. They haven't said a word, for instance, about the over 6,000 Nigerian Christians that have just been massacred by jihad in Nigeria. And most of those Nigerian Christians that have been massacred are mostly women, many of them children. And these so-called leftist feminists, well, they're not so-called leftists, but they're so-called feminists, haven't said a word. And I'm connecting the dots here, ladies and gentlemen, because Linda Sarsour's brother doesn't fall far from the family tree. We know where Linda Sarsour stands on Jewish people and on jihad. No surprise that now it turns out that her brother made these tweets. But the left does not hold her to account. And because the left dominates our culture, the establishment media won't hold her to account and won't hold her brother to account. But let me say this to the left and to these leftist feminists that may be by some coincidence watching this show. We know who you aid and abet, and we know why. We know why you're on the side of Jew-hating and jihadist monsters. These are the monsters that are at war with our civilization and with humanity. And so are you with your leftist agenda. You're shameless and you are shameful, and we know who you are. Thank you for joining the Jamie Glazov Moment this evening. Good night.